Breaking news from our streets, a tragic start to the day. One person has died in a two-alarm house fire in Midtown. Firefighters responding to the blaze shortly before 10 last night on Clovelly Avenue near Eglinton and Oakwood. The deceased person was found during a search of the home. No other information on the victim has been released. 3 other people were assessed by paramedics, and one was treated on the scene for smoke inhalation. Flames were visible to firefighters when they arrived.
The fire was extinguished relatively quickly. The crews did a great job. If you've seen the back, the damage is extensive at the rear of the structure. Crews did a great job stopping it from spreading to the adjoining houses. Way too early to even speculate on a cause.
And we've got a live look at Clovelly Avenue for you. Investigators are on the scene trying to determine where the fire started and the cause. They're expected to be there for most of the day. The investigation could last until tomorrow. More controversy from Queen's Park surrounding the provincial finance minister's Caribbean vacation. Despite ongoing warnings from the provincial and federal governments to stay home over the holidays, news broke this week that Rod Phillips and his wife embarked on a personal vacation to St. Bart's on December 13th, just under 2 weeks before a province-wide lockdown. While Premier Doug Ford heavily criticized the move, it appears he knew the minister was away for most of his trip, only calling him back to the province this week.
It's unacceptable that anyone, any elected official, myself included, or anyone that gets up, ignores the rules and goes down to an island. I did call him shortly after he arrived, and I talked to him and asked where he was. He said he was away, so there's going to be an issue. My mistake, and I take full responsibility. At that time, I should have said, get your backside back into Ontario, and I didn't do that.
Phillips is set to return to the country sometime today, but Ford didn't say whether or not any punishment can be expected. NDP leader Andrea Horwath is calling on Ford to kick Phillips out of cabinet, meanwhile Mayor Tory is taking a more gentle tone.
Minister Phillips made a mistake, a serious mistake. He's been chastised by the Premier for that. He has admitted his own deep regret at making that mistake. I have acknowledged that it was a mistake. It's a very regrettable series of events. He's a human being, and he made a mistake, and he'll pay a price for that.
When Phillips arrives, he is expected to quarantine for 14 days. And by the way, his office also confirms the minister traveled to Switzerland for a personal trip in August and quarantined for 14 days when he returned. Well, it's New Year's Eve, but instead of preparing for a party, everyone across the province, maybe picking out their favorite PJs for a night in? Most celebrations will happen virtually under lockdown restrictions, of course. All outdoor special events, including New Year's Eve at Nathan Phillips Square, it's been canceled. Indoor organized public events and social gatherings, they are not permitted, except with members of your same household. Now, all restaurants and bars are only able to offer takeout, drive-through, or delivery, and all concert venues, theaters, and cinemas are closed. And we've got a live look at the CN Tower, where tonight a special light show will ring in the new year. The City of Toronto is partnering with the CN Tower in a live stream virtual event. It'll begin tonight at 11:58 on the city's YouTube channel, so everyone can watch safely from home. Mayor John Tory will also provide a special message to say goodbye to 2020 and welcome 2021. And because tomorrow is a holiday, you can expect a number of closures and outside lockdown restrictions. Banks, government offices, libraries, they're all closed. There will be no post office or mail delivery. Most grocery stores and all LCBO and beer stores will be closed for the holidays. Malls and attractions will not be operating for curbside pickup, and some essential stores will still be open, but make sure to call ahead to check on their hours. And something to keep in mind, too, for New Year's Eve, the TTC will operate on a regular weekday service schedule. However, the annual free ride that they usually offer won't be offered this year because of COVID-19. Tomorrow, subway service starts at 8 a.m. and the system will operate on a Sunday schedule. Now, even though this New Year's Eve isn't what we're used to, there's one tradition you don't have to miss: watching the ball drop at Times Square in New York.
3,
2, 1, Happy New Year!
A little preview for you there. Tonight, you won't see the usual sea of people kissing at midnight as confetti rains down. However, Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve with Ryan Seacrest is still a go, with performances from Jennifer Lopez, Cyndi Lauper, and more. And you can watch it here on City TV starting at 8 o'clock. And we'll have a special half-hour edition of City News at 11 before returning to the Big Apple for the big countdown. But before that, we are celebrating the end of 2020 and the start of 2021 right here on BT. At 7:30, Melanie Ng and I will look back on the news stories that shaped this roller coaster year. And then at 8, we're going to check in with the mayor of Niagara Falls ahead of a night that would normally be bustling with tourists. What can we expect this time around?